Hey everybody, it's Cauliflower Man here. I'm bringing you another gameplay of Battleborn. In this gameplay, I'm playing as Melka. I'm not really going to tell you too much about how to play Melka, because Melka's, in my opinion, she's the absolute worst character in the game, which is really a shame because she's kind of the protagonist. There's not really a protagonist to Battleborn, but when you first play Battleborn, it makes you go through a mission and it makes you be Melka. So she's kind of the protagonist, and for some reason they decided to make her absolute trash. If you do the basic math on her, you can tell she's absolute trash just by looking at things like her base damage of her pistol. She hits like right there, you can see I'm hitting 29s, so a full clip of my pistol, I'm not even going to bust out 600 damage. Anybody who shoots does more damage than her, and the only one who might not do more damage is Caldarius, but Caldarius is far more agile than she is. Then if you look at her spike does like 200 damage in a tiny area of effect around her. So her spike is terrible. It's one of the worst area of effects in the game. And then her ultimate does like a maximum of 650 damage if you hit them with all three, and it's very hard to hit anybody with all three. You'll be lucky to hit them with two. So if you take someone, like, let's compare against something like an Orendi. Like, an Orendi has an area of effect that you could say is comparable to Melka's Spike, except Orendi's Shadowfire does at least double damage of Melka's Spike. Orendi's ultimate does about the same damage as Melka's ultimate, except Orendi's ultimate can hit as many enemies as are in the range of it, as are in the area of effect. You can literally hit 10 enemies if you get a minion wave and all the Battleborn in the area of effect of it, and so you can get like 5,000 damage with Orendi's ultimate, but the max you can get with Melka is oh, 600, no way! But and then finally you've got her little dash, which gets her away. You can compare her to against like a Caldarius. Caldarius has similar damage with his regular pistol, and like I said before, Caldarius is one of the weakest characters in game. But then Caldarius is his little blind, his little flashbang grenade does more damage and offers a blind. The dash that Melka's got is very comparable to Caldarius's little dash, and then Caldarius's ultimate has a huge area of effect and does basically the same damage as Melka's ultimate, so you don't have to aim it. So sometimes I really think Gearbox just doesn't know how to do math. There's more evidence on this if you look at the way they do percentages. They write down percentages incorrectly sometimes, like Reyna's Plasma Pulse. It says it gives a 116% increase in damage, and that's false. It's a 16% increase. That's a common mistake for people to incorrectly write the percent increase of anything just because it's weird in math. If it's a 100% increase, that means it doubles, so a 16% or what Reyna should say is it's a 16% increase, but they say it's a 116% increase, which would be more than a doubling of the damage, which is false. So I really just don't understand why Battleborn doesn't change this. It would literally take 2 seconds for them to change Melka and make her a playable character. I'm not saying you can't have a good game again with her, but if you play her competitively, you're going to lose. You're going to lose it for your team every time. So honestly, the best way to play Melka is not to play Melka at all. But if you are going to play Melka, make sure to use her agility. Always remember her offhand melee attack. When you are sprinting and you use it, you will kick forward like you just saw me do there. It's kind of hard for people to hit you when you do that. I also use the pushback in her offhand melee. That only happens when she's not sprinting. You'll see me do it right here. So I do that, get up on top of something so people can't really hit me. But as you can see, I put a full clip into that Ernest, and I barely get his shield off. And that's just because Melka's terrible, to say the least. But what are you going to do? So just remember, if you're playing her, always keep her agile. That's about the end of this game. Now, my next game, I'm going to show you a couple little tricks with her that can make her somewhat useful in game. But Melka's kind of like a Caldarius in that if you get good with her, you should be really proud of yourself, but she's far worse than a Caldarius, so just always remember that. I do decent here, but that's mainly because my team is there and they're kind of helping me out, and so it looks like I'm doing a lot, but I'm kind of banking on my team's help for a lot of this. But let's go ahead and look at the second video. Now in the second video, I'm using a couple little tricks with Melka just to get to places that enemies won't really expect you. With Melka's claw lunge, I can get up here, or with her offhand melee attack, there's a way you can jump up the rocks to get up here. So what I'll do is I just go up here. When somebody tries to come up here and kill me, I jump off. When they jump off, I jump back up here because they can't follow me. But as you can see, I don't do a lot of damage and I don't have a lot of range, so it takes me forever to kill this thing, even though I'm attacking it untouched. But again, just always remember with Melka, use her agility. That spike, if you want to do damage to enemies, you have to use that spike on a minion wave. It's got very low area of effect. Its area of effect is terrible. It's one of the worst area of effects in the game. If you've ever played Super Smash Brothers, it reminds me a lot of like Luigi when you use his up B. You got to be standing directly near somebody. That's in Nintendo 64 Super Smash Brothers. That was a great game, but at least Luigi in that game was a character that could be played. In this game, if you play Melka, you're basically giving a win to the other team. I'm playing with a good team here, so we're able to kind of crush this other team. And you'll see here in a second, once I go up into one of my favorite spots to go, that they're just going to have a lot of trouble. I don't even know if they're going to attack me, but the spot I'm going to show you, you can get there with a lot of characters. My favorite character to do it with is Isaac, and you don't have to go from the front here, you can go from the back, but you just get right up here, and the only way the enemies can get you is if they go back into their spawn and come at you from there. You can see this Shane, he sees me up here and he's mad, he's going to try and get me, but I'm not going to let him because I'm not dumb. So if you'll notice that Shane's teleporting because he's going to come after me, but luckily my team's able to hit him, so he's not able to teleport, so I'm just putting damage on their sentry. Like I said, this is a great spot, but again, if you can look at the damage I'm doing, it's almost nothing with Melka here. So I'm really trying real hard to actually open up one of those crit spots, but again, it's going to take forever because Melka's just a terrible character. There's really nothing I can do up here other than just do a little bit of damage and then run away. So as you can see, this Shane's coming after me again. My Alani came to save me, which she didn't really need to, because as soon as I go down, I just go back up. So this Shane, I know I pissed this Shane off so much, but that's just the way I like to play Melka. It's really the only way you can play Melka. If you play like this, you'll actually help your team. If you don't play like this and you're Melka, your team's going to hate you because you're going to lose it for them. So I think for the rest of this match, though, I just keep going up and down while the rest of my team is taking out their Battleborn players. Luckily, like I said, I'm playing with a real good team here, so I'm able to just sit up here and not worry about anything else. As you can see, that Shane still is down there. He's getting mad at me, but what's he gonna do? As soon as he comes up here, I just jump off again, and then if he's got one of two options, he can either sit up here and stay there forever, or he can follow me down. If he stays up here, he's useless for his team. If he follows me down, I just come back up. And so with Melka, I just like doing things like this, and it just really irritates the enemy. But like I said, she's just a super weak character. She really needs a rework. She needs her damage bumped on everything, on absolutely everything. She could really use an area of effect increase on her spike, but again, like I said, the best way to play Melka is to not play her at all. But if you are going to play her, then you have to play using her agility and basically being kind of a jackass, to say the least. You gotta get to spots where the enemy's not really going to be able to get to you, and then once they come after you, just run away. I guess you could call it flanking, but she's so weak that I wouldn't even call her a flanking character. She's just an annoyance. That's it. As you can see, I've been attacking the sentry for 5 full minutes almost, and still haven't taken it out. But that's just the way it is with Melka. Unfortunately, Gearbox, I swear to God, they just can't do math sometimes. But it is what it is. So if you're going to play Melka, play her as a big annoyance. That's really the only way you can get away with playing her.